Hi everybody. So here continuing to rivet on the stiffeners to the skin of the left tank. I'm I'm joined by my friend here, Ted. We have flipped the skin around. It's just easier to do all the rivets from one side, although you will find yourself having to do left and right-handed rivet gunning. And I'm applying extra tank sealant to the rivet holes. This is something I was describing in the last video. Again, this tank sealant is like marshmallow fluff. There I am cleaning off the excess tank sealant, only because I didn't want to get it all over my shirt. Because once it touches an article of clothing, well, then it's all over for that article of clothing. And now you clean it off using, you can use rubbing alcohol, but it takes a long time. I'm using acetone here, very light amount because you don't want it seeping into the rivets. Acetone takes it off, but as you can see, it still smears it a lot, so you have to go back with a clean cloth afterwards and more acetone if you want to get it back to a nice aluminum shine, which you'll see me do later for like 30 minutes. Again, something with this tank sealer is that it's when it's fresh, it comes off pretty clean, and it's really shocking. You'll see later when I do the ribs. So me and my friend Ted, we do all the ribs. He helps me because doing the riveting is it's just a very hard thing to do with one hand. And here I am mixing up more sealer. And so when you actually do that, and you go down the ribs and don't go back and clean the excess tank sealant off of the skins, by the time you just get to the other side of the tank and then go back and try to clean, that stuff is pretty stuck on, as opposed if you do it like in 3 minutes. So here, yes, here I am just applying excess tank sealant to the back of the stiffeners. Here I'm using my 1-inch foam brush. And you know, the foam brushes have kind of worked. Because these foam brushes, basically it's a piece of wood, a dowel, and stuck out of the end of it is a flat plastic piece, and around that plastic piece is where the foam has been formed to form the brush shape. So the best that I've been able to get away with is cutting the 1-inch foam away and kind of sculpting it around the piece of plastic that sticks out of the dowel. Which I really should show a picture of. I really need to take more pictures to show. Because this is really, this is note to self. Note to self, this is how you want to, shape your 1-inch foam brush to make applying the tank sealant not so much of a pain in the ass. So, yeah, all the excess, oh no, so that was only 1 hour, right, so that was actually in the middle of the night. Not the middle of the night, but it was late, and I had just finished all the sealant for the rivets the day before, and this is one of those things I don't want to screw up. Sure, you can always put tank sealant on top of tank sealant, but I really would like them to be fresh, as fresh as possible when I put layers on top of each other. Look at that stuff. Look how thick. Anyway, only for my own, peace of mind. You read nightmares about working with this stuff. Well, I don't want that to be. I'm trying to make this as painless as possible. So, here I am talking with some PhD types from the labs, Berkeley labs. One of our members is a guy who works in a materials lab, so Little intelligent conversation. This is I just noticed this is a long video, and I don't know why. I think it's because it's doing all of the take sealing on the back. I don't know. We'll see. Honestly, I haven't looked. I normally like to keep these about 5 minutes. I don't want to waste a lot of people's time. 5 minutes is about all that I can stand being around myself anyway. I'm just kidding. I love myself. So yeah, after you rivet everything on, basically what I'm doing now, even though so if you do it right, you should have a little bit of tank sealant oozing out around all the edges where you have two surfaces cleat coat together. But not too much. And then what Vance tells you to do is after you've cleat coat everything on, go back and add a fillet of, which basically just means a round segment of sealant around the edges. Now this is for the tanks, but these also penetrate and have rivets that go outside, so I'm doing the same for all mating surfaces. So what I do is I add a generous amount on both sides of that stiffener, and then I smooth it out so that it looks like it is completely sealed. Basically, if you looked from the top side of that and you looked in and you only saw the flange coming up, you would think that that metal was a piece of the skin because you can't see where the skin begins and that stiffener begins. Or wait, whatever I just said. I want it sealed. Anyway, so here we've got the cradle up. It's not actually a cradle. It's just the two pieces, and this thing becomes a pain in the ass. Eventually, I fix this. So here I'm test fitting all the ribs to make sure that they fit. Even though I did a very thorough job of fluting the flanges and making sure that the flanges are all 90 degrees, once you test fit these ribs in, you will see that you probably didn't do it right the first time. Today, oh yeah, so there I'm also, you might need to see a little cup to the left, I'm enjoying a nice glass of wine, Saint Cyprien from Napa. Nice little Sauvignon Blanc, very delightful. So yeah, just going to keep finishing the ribs. Took a flight the other day up over Sonoma. Wanted to see the damage. We had a lot of wildfires here in California, in wine country, which that never happens. And it's bad, but it's already starting to come back. So we're very tough out here. But in Sonoma they say Napa's for auto parts, Sonoma's for wine. Anyway, I will, now that everything's fit, I have no idea what I do next, but we will see in the next video, so see you soon.